too hard. That we were traveling the mountains just to find the loudest seas. We set down by the fire, knowing we could aim higher, but we
Welcome back again, guys, from Tampa Bay. Today I have a very special review in more ways than one. This is the 2015 Motus. This is the base model that I'm on. And I'll tell you what the differences are into the ride. The R model is ahead of me there. That's the owner. And this base model is specifically what I wanted to ride, because it actually has more to it. First impressions, very different. It is extremely thin and small feeling when you get on it here. I have probably the narrowest seat and leg position of any bike except the Royal Enfield that I have ever been on. It is a fantastic design. It is so comfortable, but this has one of the highest power outputs of any bike on the planet. And the fact that it's in such a small designed frame is absolutely astounding. Now, big elephant in the room, I'm just going to get through it. The price. These are insanely expensive. This base model starts at 30 grand. The R in front of me starts at 37 grand. There are some extras you can add to both, and both are 100% customizable. You can mix and match any features from either one of them into your own creation. These two models are simply, think of them as presets as to features that you may want. Major differences between the two, just in case you're wondering. The R comes stock. Now remember, all these features are customizable with a sport set of handlebars to give you a more leaned forward position. A lot of carbon fiber on the panels, carbon fiber wheels instead of forged. Different cam profile, titanium valves, different exhaust. He actually has a racing exhaust on his, but the stock R, as from the factory, will come with a carbon fiber. This base model still comes with an extreme set of Akrapovic, but they're titanium. Both come with full sets of headers. There is nothing on this bike, as they like to say, that you need to throw away and replace with something better. I want to see if these turn signals are self-canceling. I don't believe they are, so I'm going to go ahead and click that in. I'm going to run through the basic features here. You can look up all the specs on their website, and then I'm going to get into my normal review session. These are really whatever you want them to be. The R is more for the track. The other difference is the rear shock set. The R has a fully adjustable race shock set. This base model has a straight progressive set. Both have manual remote preload adjustment. Both have fully adjustable front Öhlins shocks. Mirrors are very good. I just see basically the tip of my knuckles. They're fairly clear. There's just a little bit of vibration, not a problem whatsoever. These motors are really the highlight of the show. They are a unique configuration. They're basically like little small block car engines. They really are. They're V4s, 90-degree V4s, putting out extreme torque and horsepower profiles. They specifically said they do need to rev above 3,000 RPM. Don't lug them out. He said on this ride, we're probably not even going to get out of fourth. They are 6-speed. Both 5th and 6 are overdrive gears, so they are extreme long-distance cruisers as well. He said at 80 miles an hour, you're turning 3,500 RPM. Torque-wise, this thing is a beast. I mean, it goes. I'm gonna go up into fourth here. 3,000 RPM, it's recommended minimum. It just wants to rip your arms off. This is beyond VMAX torque and power. If you've ridden one of those, you know what I'm talking about. Let's go down into second. 5,000 RPM is its peak torque. At that point, it flattens out. Here's the other cool thing. There is no difference between the performance numbers of these two models, even though that has more horsepower, until you get to this red line. The R simply revs another 1,000 RPM and keeps on going for that extra 15 or so horsepower. This base model still has all the torque and rev power up until 7,500 RPM. So if you want to go to 8,500 RPM on the track, you get the R. Or you order the R spec engine in the base model. So there you go. That's why I specifically wanted to ride this one, and for the bars. Here's the other cool difference. And actually, I wanted this one because I like these bars better. These are fully adjustable helibars. And I mean fully adjustable. These things, as they say, have infinite numbers of adjustment. You can rotate them at the headstock to go forward and back. You can rotate them here at the knuckles for your height. You can rotate them here to swivel them to adjust your grip. And as delivered here, he said all four of these bikes, we got 4 riders today, are all set up differently. But it just feels perfect. This is a sit up and bag type position. However, the seat is leaned forward a little bit. It does put you into the tank. I am completely hugging it with my legs, and it is perfectly comfortable. The tank feels exactly like my FJR, the way that it's, oh, a lot of birds in the road. The way that it's contoured. There is a great exhaust note on these engines. He just scared the crap out of those birds. The way the seat is contoured, it just feels completely natural. I don't even have to shift this thing, it just goes. Very soft rev limiter. I just hit it there and wasn't any kind of drama. Windscreen is fairly effective. It is keeping the wind mostly off my chest. It's hitting towards the top of my helmet. It is very quiet. I don't know what we were doing there. I was frankly not looking at the dash at all, but very effective for noise. And it is adjustable. I do see some slats. It may be power adjustable, however, I am not sure, but there is a track there, so I think it is, and I don't see any kind of manual adjustment for it. I had to downshift there. It did not like trying to rev in whatever gear I was in. It pulls very flat. I wanted to do that run there to see how much torque I was getting, and it just didn't have any kind of peaks, which is a good thing. It feels like a large displacement car. You get it above 3, it just pulls absolutely evenly. I think we're waiting on everybody else. That's all right. Let's go down into second here. It does have strange characteristics as far as the way it feels, because it is such a automotive type engine. When you rev it, even in neutral, you get a lot of torque twisting the bike. The whole bike does this, just when you give it a blip. It's like torque steer on a car. Woo! Lifted the front end there. Got a little light going through the... I'm not that confident to take it through these corners like the owner is, because I don't have enough seat time on this. Oh, and that's the other fun thing about this. This is the first demo bike where I had to put up not only my own insurance, but my own credit card in case of any damage. So, yeah. Not pressing it as much as he is. This is my first time riding it. But I really do appreciate the fact that he's goosing it to let us really feel this bike. Okay, so let's go through how this bike feels. Rider's Triangle is frankly perfect, and with these fully adjustable bars, my goodness, I mean, you can make this however you like. And if, like I was saying, if you want the sportier bars, which takes them down here, it's no charge to swap them out for the R spec. Cruising along here, as long as you're above 3, it's very smooth. All you really feel is a ticking, and I can hear it too. Think of this, like I was saying, it's a very unique engine design. Let me take you through it real quick. It's a V4, but it's mounted longitudinally. So think the defunct Honda CTX 1300, where you've got the cylinders coming out the sides like this, like a BMW Boxer, but obviously at 90 degrees. Clutch engagement is very smooth, very natural. Front end comes right up. I mean, that was seriously quarter throttle, and I was in the air. Much like the VMAX, don't even bother trying to give it a lot of goose in first gear. You may even want to just take off in second. He said he's ridden this kind of route, just leaving it in third from 0 to whatever. Now I hope he knows that right around these next couple bends, the cops love to put up speed traps. I was hoping we were going to take a left there and go down Racetrack or other twisty road, which kind of parallels that one we just went down. This particular road is not the one you want to be speeding on, so hope he knows that. Anyway, it's very smooth above 3,000 RPM, but yeah, I confirmed here it does not like to be lugged. Let's put it into 6. Oh, it just starts shaking, and I mean it goes, but it does not want to be there. So let's get into 4th here, right at the bare minimum, 3,000 RPM. Give it a little throttle. Oh, it goes. I mean, just half throttle makes this thing go. Oh, don't do it, dude. Just don't go crazy. Oh, I'm not going to follow him. He does not know about this road. Let's go into 6 here. All right, 69 miles an hour, 3,000 RPM. You're finally in 6. So that's your freeway cruise right there. Say 70 miles an hour, just above 3,000 RPM. Smooth as a button, cruise here all day. It does have cruise control. You press the starter button of all things, and that turns it on. Anything above 40 miles an hour, it turns on that little green light right above the speedo display. And all the normal things to turn it back off. I don't know where the up and down adjust is, or even if it has it, but that's the on and off button, the starter. I know it's weird, but that's what it is. The screen is beautiful. It's extremely legible, very clear, top quality LCD. There's no glare, excellent off-angle viewing up and down. You don't have to worry about that. It simply looks like a real gauge sitting there. You've got a large speedo in the middle. The tack around the outside is a little slow to update. It's not a super smooth sweep. It's noticeable, but frankly, you're not looking at it. You can hear this exhaust very plainly through your helmet, so you're going to know what RPM you're at. You don't have to worry about that. And you don't have to get on it to hear it. It really isn't getting that much louder when you get on it. It just changes tone a little bit. But just here, sitting here, revving it, blipping it, you hear it. It's a growl. It sounds like a freaking car. So the engine being a 90-degree V4 engine, it's a push-rod engine. It's not an overhead valve, or overhead cam, I mean, so it's not like the VMAX, which is a V4, but turned sideways, but smoother profile. You don't have this quite lumpiness. This is more like two small Harley engines bolted next to each other and turned sideways. Think of it that way. He said it's I believe he said 11.5 to 1 compression or 11.1, something like that, but he does recommend running premium in it. He said it will run on 87 and adjust the electronics, so it doesn't require premium, but they do recommend it. But still, 11 whatever is still fairly low compression. He said they were really thinking about heat management on this, and I have to say, I do not feel 1 ounce of heat on my legs. It's quite comfortable. Peg position is completely natural. They're right below my knees. I'm 6'2". See how much clearance I've got? Nothing. I can stand up and the seat is still contacting me. There's very little give in the suspension. It's set up beautifully for me, just coincidentally. Like I said, these were just set up however they came. Oh God, that garbage truck stinks. Now I hope we pass. I don't think we will though. Not self-canceling, gotta remember that. Transmission is clunky. It's what I'm used to though. It is standard. It's not a ding on it whatsoever. It is like the majority of bikes out there, but not on par with the current generation of bikes coming out where it's butter smooth and just a little snick. It does have the clunk, just like the 2015 and previous FJRs, so that's why I'm very familiar with it. Woo! Love that torque. Third here, below 3,000 RPM, it jumps. I mean, it just kicks you in the pants, just like the Royal Enfield when you shift it and you get that, well, this has it just touching the throttle. It really is quite violent, and it's got that shake when you do. When you're in these lower RPMs, you can feel the pistons just shaking this thing all over the place. And I love the exhaust note. But yeah, height-wise, shorter riders probably are going to have an issue because I have zero clearance. I'm flat-footing it, however, it's more like a supermoto, quite tall, but narrow, so you can pretty much put your legs straight down. Love the triangle, and I could put this even back further because these arms are coming up and then back. I could point them straight back and be completely upright. I'm just kind of in a relaxed slouch right now. I'm not even as far forward as sport touring bikes typically are. I'm more upright than the FJR, more upright than the Kawasaki, more upright than the Ducati. Pretty much on par with a Super Tenere or a Diablo. That's how this is set up right now. So very comfy, zero pressure on my wrists. During these low RPMs, the mirrors do shake a lot more, but their positioning is very good and fully adjustable, back, forward, very large bars. These bikes are all about the experience, that's for sure. They do have saddlebags and they do have trunks. These don't have them on it just for this ride, but they are there. They come in 3 different colors, and you can mix and match. And you can mix and match with the carbon fiber panels. LED taillights, turn signals. I didn't look at the headlights, but I would imagine they're LED. I'm just leaving it third here. And it just keeps pulling. I mean, it's almost like a vibrating electric engine. That's the riding characteristic. So the big question, is it worth basically twice the price of, I won't say similar bikes because there are no similar bikes. These things have more power than almost any other bike on the planet. Certainly well more power than any American bike on the market. Certainly more than any sport touring bike. But if you look at this by the numbers and you think, oh wow, 1650 cc's, that's a huge engine. That's even bigger than the BMW 1600. This feels like a bike half the size of the BMW 1600. I'm not kidding. This is extremely light and nimble. This handles like a Yamaha FZ09. I'm not exaggerating. It's only, I believe he said 580 pounds fully loaded with gas, all fluids, everything on the road. 580 pounds. That is a tremendous difference between other sport touring bikes, especially when you get into the big ones. I mean, power-wise, especially in the R, if you want to count that extra little peak horsepower, which frankly I don't care about, you're up in Goldwing territory, especially with the torque, and you're at half the size, half the weight. If you want a nimble sport bike, frankly, there's no comparison. Now, how would this compare for the track? Well, I don't know. I wish I had a local track to tell you. The owner says it's great. I don't know how a R1 or a Ducati or any dedicated track bike would compare, but power-wise, I mean, it's up there. It's within spitting distance of the top sport bikes on the market as far as numbers go. And he said it's fully adjustable for the track as far as suspension and setup, and I believe it. Seat is very good. I have 0 pressure points. I would have no qualms about taking this on a longer trip. I have a lot of adjustability on the seat. I can scoot all the way back, and I've got a little bit of a shelf on my butt. It has a quite large pad and a very comfy pad for the passenger. So there you go, guys. There's your review of the 2015 Motus. Have to say, excellent bike. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.